Welcome again, old people. I'm really glad to have you here. I can show you how I did build my home studio and what's inside. So what do you need to do it? Hello. I'm saying hello to you. You are one of my viewers. Until this day, I didn't know who is watching my movies, and now I do, because I've studied YouTube analysis, and now I know my audience very well. I know you, I see you, and I know who you are. What's really important in sound design? The most important thing is yerba mate, because you will need the energy to go through the nights of experimenting and discovering. And you will also need another energy, it's electricity. And you will also need a third thing, which is some space. As you see, my table is not very big. I will measure it for you. Wait a second. Regarding to knowledge revealed to me by YouTube analysis, you are old man, because 100% of my viewers are in age above 65 plus. So at last I know who I'm addressing my videos to. My table is only 80 centimeters by 135 centimeters. That's completely enough for sound laboratory. I'm talking very slow because I don't have great confidence in my English. My native language is Polish, and also most of my viewers are also Polish. But I've decided to use English, even if it's far from excellence, because topic which I am interested, and movies, what I am doing about. How to say? Not many people in the world are interested in 30 years old Kurzweil synthesizer. So first and most important thing is audio mixer, because you can create and play music and sounds with audio mixer only, with this mixing board. It's completely enough to create some experimental sounds. You can play with this mixer like you can play with feedback. So when you will put the output of the mixer into the input of the mixer, and you will be very careful with the levels and with gain, you can produce a lot of experimental sounds, especially connected with this graphic equalizer here with these filters. So even mixing board alone is enough for creating music. That's why I'm addressing my message in English, hoping to reach more people, with all respect to Polish folks. And this is my analog mixing board, nothing special, made by Soundcraft. Till some level threshold, all those mixing boards are the same. They are made of exact the same components. So things like Yamahas, Behringers, Soundcraft, Allen & Head, and other mixing boards with similar price tag are made of exactly the same operational amplifiers, and all components are just the same. This is exactly the same class of components and design, so just make yourself sure that you are not paying too much for this thing, okay? Okay, so as I said, at last I know what my audience is, and I believe in those analyses, because it makes sense. I'm talking only about one synthesizer, I'm talking about experimental music, so naturally young people will be not interested in such things. Let's put it here. Because they are subject of very, very complex and massive marketing attack, which is addressed to him by producers of modern synthesizers, gear and software. And it's tons of it, millions of them. So young people are literally overwhelmed by very, very rich, attractive, modern and trendy offer. And another thing, if you want to produce any sound without computer, another important thing is a synthesizer. And this one is the best synthesizer in the world, the best synthesis engine and the best sounding synth also, most versatile and most complex of anything what you can encounter in your life. Nothing will be more complex than this synthesizer. And this, as you see, is Kurzweil K2000R for rack mount. And comparing to this, what I'm offering is not trendy, not easy, not new, and it smells funny. That's why when I saw those YouTube analyses, it was a big relief for me, because I am 48 or 49 at the moment, and I really don't understand young people, and that's normal. This is how it is. This machine will give you possibilities and opportunity to learn new things for many, many years, and you will never hit the button of its possibilities. But it also has its limitations, and I found only one limitation within this machine. It's processor effects. It's just one Digitech chip, and this processor effects is single and quite decent. Maybe too noisy sometimes, but if you want to do something more sophisticated, just add a effects processor. I have a Lexicon Mx300, very decent digital device, which I've fixed and rescued from scrapyard. It was very badly damaged, has many analog and digital issues inside, so it was completely wasted and burnt out. I just fixed it step by step, circuit by circuit, op amp by op amp, And this is it. Very decent unit, very powerful unit. If you are younger than 65 plus, please let me know down below in comments below this video. And if you reach so far, like 5 minutes in this video with this very slow English, I would be I will really appreciate that if you will decide to write it down below this movie and said to me, hello, I'm younger than 65 plus. Interesting. Another thing, it's a MIDI controller to trigger this synthesizer. In this row I having here Akai Miniak, which is a very decent and very powerful synthesizer. So it's also my second synthesizer at this table. As you see, it's a compact size, not too big, very heavy, very solid build, and very powerful digital synthesis virtual analog engine, which came from legendary Alesis Ion, and then Alesis Ion was turned into Alesis Micron, and then company Alesis and Akai were bought by company Gemini, so it's all owned by Gemini now, and Akai and Alesis brands, so they've just mixed things together and made this Akai Miniak, which is based on Alesis Ion sound engine, perfected in Alesis Micron. If you are 65 plus and older, also please let me know down below in comments. So now I'm doing something what's called I'm doing something what is called call for action. All YouTube gurus are saying that this is necessary to have any feedback from people, which I don't believe or I don't agree, because till this day I have not much, but I have some feedback, and it is 100% spontaneous, but it's really small. It's really small. Over my old channel I have something like 30 comments, but that's okay, because I was never asking for any reaction to my audience, and now I'm doing it and I'm calling for action. So, and then if you decide to base your studio on computer, so you use computer, and if you decide to not use computer, it would be nice to have some sequencer to drive all those instruments. My selection is Roland MC-80, which is at the moment it was produced most powerful tool of this kind, and still even nowadays I think it's very powerful, and it's very complex, incredibly complex, and incredibly hard to use and hard to learn. It's very difficult to understand how it works, even with operation manual. So that's this is a challenge. This is a challenge, and that's why I like it, and that's why I choose it over computer, because it's harder. Roland MC-80, because in general I don't like to do music with computer. I don't know why. Maybe because years ago I was an architect, and I was spending like 16 or 18 hours with the computer every day. So I'm trying to avoid it as much as I can. But on other side, I'm also very like to do things with Max MSP platform, or I very like to do videos with Adobe Premiere, and Adobe Photoshop is also my beloved software. So maybe it's not necessarily the truth that I'm avoiding computer, but computer has one downside, which is unlimited possibilities, and I don't really like it. I think that boundaries giving you freedom and limitations are very, very, they how to say in English, some hardware pattern which have to be, you know, followed, is giving you very interesting possibilities to express yourself. Maybe it's hard to say, but I will explain and present it more in this series. So computer is too easy. I'm not interested in you know, drawing piano rolls in sequences in DAW. It's just boring. So I prefer to struggle with machine like this, but this is my choice. And the last thing, something which let us record our sounds into the computer. As you see here, I will use very old and very nice unit. It's Edirol FA101. Very nice Firewire multi-channel interface, very decent. Also very cheap those days, second hand. You can buy it for like a 40 euro or something. Okay, so let's wire all these things up, wire them together. So we'll have three kinds of wires here. One wires for audio signals, second wires and cables for MIDI signals, and third kind, it will be power cables. So let's do it. I'm also going to do some commitment. I'm going to publish 2 videos per week. Every Thursday I will publish something about technological side of making experimental music, like MIDI controllers, potentiometers, or algorithms, working with Kurzweil, V.A.S.T synthesis engine or something. And in Mondays I will publish some music produced with Kurzweil K2000 synthesizer. So technicals in Thursdays and music every Monday. And if you are interested in such content, please subscribe this channel. Just give it a chance. And also, if you want to be informed about every uploaded video, please also hit or press this little bell button near subscribe button. I'm very interested if it will have any success. Honestly, I would, if I would go through my videos on my channel at the moment, it's like about 10 of them, I will give it a chance and I would subscribe my own channel, honestly. just to see what will going on and to see if I will fulfill my commitment. I strongly recommend to solder your own cables. Don't buy anything ready-made. Don't buy anything which is usually too long or too short, and just do it by yourself. It's very nice to solder your own cables, and most of all, if you know that you will have many of them, like in our setup, when we will have about 10 audio cables at the table, on the small space like my table, it's a big deal. 10 cables, and when those cables will be thick, it will have a lot of space. It will, you know, just consume a lot of space and will do a big mess. And that's why I'm soldering my own cables. Look at this cable. It's very thin. It's of course it has nothing to do with professional audio cable. It's just an ordinary industry standard cable for sending industry standard signals for machines. It's called techno cable, and it's just very nice copper, high quality copper, which is flexible and it's shielded. So that's all what you need. Just make yourself sure that you're using a shielded cable. Nonetheless, I'm going to make quite valuable content for you. So this is it. And now warning for young people: if you decide to stay on this channel and watch those movies, please remember that you're doing this on your own risk, because this channel is dedicated for people above 65 years old. So please remember it. If you are younger, consider it. Is it okay for you? I don't know. Your brain might be damaged by this slow and precise narration. And the most important thing is you have to decide you will use symmetrical or non-symmetrical connections. So this is the most important decision.
We'll test on it never again. Got my Lone Wolf 6000 trigger hooked up here, and got a lot of questions on this, and really all it is just a wire going to the...
In general, not recommended for youngsters. So even if you are here by accident, by mistake, maybe a YouTube algorithm make some big mistake, try to have fun, maybe. Don't expect too much. Don't expect anything easy. We will go rather through really time-consuming things. I promise you that. Welcome again, old people. I'm really glad to have you here. Our setup is very nice, very clean, pure. So what's missing here? What do we miss? Of course, we need cables. We need cables, and we got to spoil our beautiful, clean setup with the cables. So let's start with connections. 4 cables, 2 pair of jacks for Kurzweil, because Kurzweil will be connected to the mixing console from main mix output and also from D pair of output. So 4 cables for Kurzweil. Now 2 cables for Akai. Here it is. Those are for Akai. Now we need to connect our mixing console to the effect processor. So 2 cables for signal running into processor, and we also need 2 cables for signal returning from processor. So these are audio cables, and because they are all DIY, made by me, soldered by me, they are very, very thin. So try to imagine this if they will be regular audio cables. Okay, now we got a MIDI connection. So MIDI connection will be quite complex here, because this sequencer got 2 pairs of output and input, so it's a lot of possibilities. And here we are. Here we go. One MIDI cable DIN5 for connection between our controller Akai to the sequencer. Another MIDI cable for connection our sequencer with main synthesizer. We will also route our signal to the effect processor, because I want to match tempo of all delays and effects with the main clock of main tempo. So it will be cable from Kurzweil to the Lexicon, and also I will also connect a sequencer with the MIDI, with the Akai Miniak, because Akai will also take play in our sound sculpture. So another MIDI cable, let's see, do we have any? Yes, we have. We got one here. Okay. So last MIDI cable. And now we need more cables, because we want to power all this thing up. So we'll got 4 power cables. 1 cable for Kurzweil, 1 cable for Lexicon, another cable for mixing console, and something really special for our Akai Miniak, a dedicated power supply. Ta-da! So this is our cables. As you see, routing these cables will be critical for our wellness, I think, because you really need to have organized your space if you want to organize a space of the sound or of the music. So we will organize those cables with things like this. This is a nice universal spiral. 1 spiral for audio, and more. One for audio, 1 for MIDI, and 1 for power. Okay, let's connect all those things together. I'm gonna connect Kurzweil first. 4 cables for Kurzweil. Those silver ones going in Kurzweil, and those black ones going to the mixer, because those silver ones are shorter, significantly shorter, and I need every centimeter here of the space from the wall, so First, mix. As you see, Kurzweil got mix pair and also 1, 2, 3, 4 separate pairs. All those pairs are mixed together with this one, and also each of this can be used as an insertion point. You can bring out signal from Kurzweil to the effect rack and bring it back to the machine. This is a really unique and fascinating feature of the synthesizer. Maybe I will go deeper someday with it. Okay, so left first. Left channel will go here, and right channel goes here. D output, left one. And the right one. Oops. Right one. First 4 inputs of the mixer are Kurzweil. And now MIDI from Kurzweil through to effect processor in, MIDI in, and I'm going to shorten this cable. Don't need it that long. This is enough. Okay, MIDI through, MIDI in, and MIDI in to Kurzweil. And this will go to the sequencer output, MIDI output 1. This is my main MIDI output. Okay. Kurzweil also needs power, so another cable. These cables are just too long. I'm hoping to not induct anything. These ones are for effects unit output. So analog output left to the stereo one left, and analog output right to the right, and now input and input. Left input will go for aux 1, and right input it will take auxiliary 2. Okay, and power for effects processor. Okay, so this is it. Power line. This MIDI is too long. Go as far as you can here. Okay. So all those cables are nice and straight, which is important because we're going to harness them together. And two more for Akai, left and right, also goes this way. Okay, so it would be nice to bind them together. This is a cable harness, and this is special tool sold together with this harness to introduce cables inside. It's very clever. So now I'm taking all my cables here, it's like here, and I'm taking this, and they will stay inside. Beautiful, isn't it? They will all stay inside. Look at this, look at this. This is just beautiful. One big cable instead of 10 small cables.
See how that goes. And right now I'm going to put a tachometer in it so we know how many digitals she's